guys? Welcome channel. It's Adam with E55. So today we're with my E55 AMG m113k motor. So in a few previous videos I saw that I was basically throwing my belt. I did it one time and I've never thrown these belts before. So I was a little bit not sure exactly what happened. I was chalking it up just an old belt broke and caused a reaction. But I'm 90% sure, let's put it 84% sure, I think I know what broke. This motor is known to have a few problems here and there. Some of them are leaks and some of them are so easy to fix and so easy but you just don't notice it. So what I think is I have an oil leak on this car that is dropping oil directly to my pulley assembly and then throwing my belt off. Now this is a very common oil leak on this car. It's literally 3 gaskets that cost, I want to say, under $30. It depends when you buy them. I got mine from FCP Euro. These 3 gaskets should stop this oil leak that is it's so common on the m113 and m112k cars. I was looking, after I saw it on this one, I looked into my other ones. I have it on all three of my cars I have it on. So today we're going to be fixing it on an m113k and an m112k. They're going to be roughly the same job, but just a little different. So the leak in question will be the oil filter housing. So yeah, sometimes they leak from this gasket, but there's also gaskets in between and on the bottom, and that's where mine's leaking from. Now what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to show you how to repair this and replace it, but I'm going to go above and beyond. So I'm going to be pulling all this stuff out just so you can get a better look at it, but you really don't need to. It's going to be just separating, and you just need one special tool. Bam. Right here should be a 46, it's not even written on this one. This is definitely a cheap 46 millimeter socket. Mine I bought off Amazon, 10-15 bucks. I did buy it in 3/4 inch drive, so I have my adapter. But everything else is just going to be Allen's and simple stuff like that. So we're going to start knocking this bad girl out. Now, like I said, I'm going to be removing a little bit more than you need to. I'm going to be removing the fan because I want to show you the leak. On my Slk32, which we're going to pull in next in the garage, it is a little bit different just how the cooler setup is. But literally, the job is more or less the same. So I'm going to be showing you on both cars today. So if you have an Slk32, or a C32, or an E55, SL55, m113k, m112k motor, or any of the other AMGs that have this type of oil filter, cooling, assembly stuff, these gadgets go bad. They're not that expensive. It's a pretty easy job. You can do it at your house. So we're going to be knocking that out today. I'll show you what the parts are and the part numbers. So most of the time it is just this gasket that leaks, but I brought all 3 of them just in case so I can rebuild the whole thing, and I bought one other extra thing because it was cheap. If I find any cracks, I bought a whole new assembly because this thing was $10 on Amazon. That's basically, and you got a filter with it. So I might just start buying these just for the filters, and then you have all these extra parts. But we're going to throw all this stuff on there, and I'm going to show you the leak and show you what I think is happening. Alright, so for me, I'm going to start removing this whole top area, and I'm going to work on taking my fan out just to make it a lot easier for me to get at stuff. So I've done these before. Remove your shielding, I throw mine right over, and then you're going to be taking your 10 mils that hold this whole contraption on from the radiator and all that stuff. I'm clearly missing a bolt here or there. Mine's a little bit different, but generally they're the same. You got 3 bolts there, 3 bolts over here, and then the one in the center. Now that you got those out of the way, this part will lift up. These come right out of the radiator. I'm just putting mine right up there to get it out of the way. Next, I'm going to be removing my fan, which are these clips right here. So you're going to take a screwdriver, pop those bad girls out under your plug, swing that to the side, and then I always take off one radiator hose to help pop it right through. Now you could probably wiggle this bad girl out without removing that radiator hose, but I do just to make it so much easier. I might need to get a smaller screwdriver. I've shown multiple times to remove the radiators, you just pop one of these clips and then pull the hose and make sure you have something to catch all the fluid underneath, which I do. Okay, now that we got all that look, I'm going to try to show you the leak with my iPhone. So when editing, make sure I go to the iPhone footage. Yeah, see? Right there. You see the leak? It is literally leaking, dripping on my belt. Right there, you can see all on the belt where it's literally constantly dripping and then causing this film. See all over there? Gooey. Not good. Okay, with the iPhone footage, you actually see it all over. I'm going to show you some other areas where I'm getting oil all over the belt, and I think this went through it. If you guys remember, these are brand new belts, but look at right there I'm getting a backup of like oil and schmutz. So it's dripping on the belt. It drips right on the belt, and I think that's causing it slipping. So let's knock these bad girls out. So you don't really have to remove the fan like I said, but you just get so much more room for activities. So what I'm going to be doing first is take the oil filter cap off, get that out of the way, and then just keep going. Alright, so we're just going to be taking the oil filter cap. You can literally get the proper cup, or I just got a simple little strap wrench and stuff like that. It's not that hard to do. You've probably done this before in your car. It's just like doing a simple oil change. Now you got that basically broken loose, just spin it on off. Now you will have oil all over here, but we've already made a mess once, so you're going to make a little bit of a mess again. So I'm going to get a box. I'll get the new box to put it in. Also, this is a good time to do this project if you're doing an oil change right now too, because you will lose some oil. So now we got that off, I'm going to show you the big nut down there. So right down there, you got your big 46-inch nut. So we're going to break that bad girl loose. And then, I could start breaking a lot of this stuff loose now, but I'm hoping once I break that loose, it'll give me a lot more wiggle room to get everything else. But what I actually now I'm thinking what I'm going to do, let me get these lines out of the way first because I don't want to break these. So we're going to knock that bolt out for the line, that bolt, and that bolt. That'll let me swing these lines out of the way. You're just going to use an E10 right there, and it should be an E10 right there too. So let me knock those out of the way. Now with that out of the way, these lines should move a little bit once I break them out. And then they should just pop. Pop right out. Well, don't drop the bracket. So those gaskets look pretty good on these lines, so we're still good. And we're going to dump a little oil, like I said. So I'm going to rotate mine up so they stay. You should be able to... I'm not saying you can't mix these up, but just try to like see how I have it up. Now I shouldn't mix it up. So now we're going to take the big socket and go right in there. Like a glove. Definitely going to need an extension. So you could use an impact gun if you really want. I would not recommend that at all. Just do it with hand tools. Holy crap, that's actually in there pretty hard. I might have to get a bigger bar. Alright, maybe I will be using the impact gun, but let me get something bigger. Alright, round two. Holy pooping. Okay, I think I broke it loose with the other one. Oh, now we got it. Oh yeah, now she's coming along. Right, now I'm going to get a little electric gun just to help whiz it out. There you go. That's the nut that comes right out with it. So we're going to put to the side to clean up later, and now this assembly should move. Yep, ooh, popped right off. Alright, so now we got this whole assembly out, and wow, you could see, look, it was just dumping oil and anything else, like this is all gooed up. So we will be breaking this apart even more, but we'll show you the actual seal that was leaking. So we're going to be cleaning it all up, but this is the, this was the seal that was leaking. Can you see, you see this debris right here? That's where it was leaked, like where it actually was pooping out from. So we'll pull this seal out. Wow, that's like really effing flat in there. So we're going to pull that bad girl out and get ready for the new one. So we got the old one out. It is definitely way harder. And if you, I don't know if you could tell on camera, but like this one is way smushed down. So this is the one you ever really have to change out. But we're going to pull apart that whole body and I'm going to show you all those other little seals. So what we're going to do right now is clean this all out. I am going to be taking my belts off to get new ones, just because I want to completely fresh, and I'm going to be cleaning off my whole front end. You guys don't really got to do that, but I am, because I just was leaking all over this belt and stuff from the previous, and I dumped some more. So we'll put that little thing over there. I'm going to start cleaning this off and pull my belts, and then get ready to be cleaning that bad girl out, because look, she is all sorts of grimy. Like, you could even see, like, right there, it was leaking bad too, so I do need to do these seals anyways, because look at all that. So we'll be cleaning this whole thing out with some brake clean, make it look nice and shiny, and new gasket. So a mini little rebuild for this, and it's very simple to take out, as you see. Now we're going to be dealing with my belts and go get new ones. Alright, so we're going to be rebuilding this thing. So I got it on the ground because I'm not trying to clear off my table and being really lazy. So you're going to have this right there is going to be a T30, a T30, and a T30. Okay, so let me get more light. There you go. See them? T30, T30, T30. We'll clean it all off later, but we're going to whiz these bad girls out. I think they're all the same length, but let's just check. Those two are. Yep, all the same length. Also, I'm pretty sure I got to take this one out now that I look at it. That's the longer one. Alright. Oh, look it. It literally separates right there. So you got some valves in there. Pretty cool stuff to literally look at. So we'll be putting that to the side, clean everything out. These are the two gaskets you're looking for. Right there and right there. And if you look, like, they are not protruding at all. Those are so effing crushed on both of them. So we'll get our pick, pull these bad girls out, put the new ones in. So they should be pretty easy to pick out, because I'm not caring about damaging these. Oh, that's pretty crunchy too. Alright. Now that I got both those, that one didn't feel too bad. Now that I got both those out, I'm going to sit there and clean this whole thing out, then we'll rebuild it with the new gaskets. So remember how, look how crusty, ugh. That's the big culprit. So that one would have been, actually this bottom one that I thought wasn't too bad, that would have been the main one that was bad. So we'll clean it all off, and look, it even says AMG right there. Let's make it look pretty though. So we got the new ones, and you could pretty much see how much compressed old to new even on these gaskets are. So we got our pieces all cleaned up also. We're going to go throw it all back together. It's going to go the same way you just did it. Pretty simple. Alright, now that we got our whole housing all rebuilt and cleaned, we're going to set that to the side on my very expensive, well not really, my mediumly expensive VTech top mount intercoolers. Now we're going to be cleaning off this whole thing and just drop the gasket in and bolt that back up. Then I'm going to be cleaning all of my pulley stuff. That's just me. And I'm getting all new belts. I already got them ordered. I'll go pick them up in like 20 minutes. So I'm going to clean all in here and everything so I have a nice mating surface. Alright, we got the new gasket all in. We'll drop that back girl in, clean off our nut, and then continue on. Okay, so now that you got everything aligned up and all that, you're ready to torque this nut. It's 55 foot-pounds. So I got my torque wrench ready. Let's get that light out of there. Come on, line in there. 55 foot-pounds. And one word of advice when you're torquing, if as you're using the torque wrench and it's already too tight, then you know you already went too much. Like if it doesn't get anything. Alright, let's just double check, but there you go, 55. You hear my beep of my fancy torque wrench. Now I know this is all good. We're going to put our lines back on. Then I'll clean everything. We'll be good. Hey guys, do you have an Slk32 or an SL55 or any car with an m112k or m113k? Then I got a product especially for you guys that you're going to like. What we got right here is Needs Wings modified surge tanks with crossover tubes and their fancy dress-up kit hardware. This unit right here will help performance and lower boost in your cars. They make them for M113s and M112ks. Now, this product right here is what you need if you're thinking about running stack pulleys, more boost, or almost anything. This will drop your PSI down without losing any horsepower. So you know what that means? Better air intake temperatures, more actual horsepower, and safer for your motor. They bolt right up with no modifications, directly into your factory areas, allow you to actually have boost sensors back there, or run nitrous with a series of bungs. This is such a good product, and I got it on both of my cars. Now, what you might say is like, oh, that doesn't really add too much power. Well, I made a video proving it actually does. And look it, they actually make the engine bay pop, and it doesn't look too crazy. It looks almost factory. So if you're thinking about what your next performance mod should be for an M113 or an m112k motor, modified surge tanks are the way to go. Now, also, if people are still doubting their performance, I'm making a video where it's really showing how much boost drop you do with the same amount of power. And, not to toot my own horn, but me, Adam at ND72, I have basically the world's fastest Slk32 in the world. And I'm not running a crazy pulley system. I am technically the second fastest, but the first if you don't count nitrous or meth. So, that kind of says it right there. And this car, all it really has done to it is stacked pulleys, which is a 178, a 65 millimeter, long tube headers, tuning from VTEC, and a lot of needs wings parts. But these modified surge tanks were a big part of it to keep my boost down. On my motor, it dropped at 5 PSI, same power. So my temps went way down. So what I think, almost every M11K should have one of these, or you go top mounts, which I did that on my E55, but it's a lot more money. So if you're talking about money, you want to purchase one of these, you go to needswings.com, and if you want to save a little bit money, I got a 10% off coupon code for you. So you go to needswings.com, put your items in your basket, and then off the surge tanks, if you put, where'd you hear about it from, put ND_72. That'll get you 10% off surge tanks for M112Ks, M113Ks, and these cool intakes and crank pulleys for the M112K, and some intakes for a C32, and the list goes on. So next time you're on needswings.com, make sure you put anything you're purchasing, where'd you hear about us from, ND_72. You'll get 10% discounts on not all their items, but some of their items, and one of them is a modified surge tank set. So, hope you guys like it. Go make some purchases, and back to the video. Alright, now that we got the E55 one done, we're going to do the Slk32 one. Now, like I said, this works on almost every M112K and M113K, and the AMG M113s and M112 motors that have that cooler. So those gaskets you buy work for both coolers, but there's two different types of them. So I'm going to show you the one on the Slk32. Now what I'm going to show you, we are going to do it on the actual car today, but I'm going to show you the whole thing on my spare motor because it is so much easier to see just because I have all the pulleys and all that stuff. But basically you're going to do the same thing. I'm going to give a brief of on the car, but I want to show you off the car because I think the angles and it's easier to see. So let's get to that. So right over here I have a perfectly running, get over there, Slk32 M113K full motor over here. So I actually have the cooler over here. So I'm going to pull this off, show you it, and then, I'll put it right back on. But, so the difference is the actual cooling apparatus. So here's an actual cooler that has coolant that runs through it and everything like that. On the M113K, you don't. You have an external cooler. That's what's different. So now the bolts are different. Now you can do this whole thing inside the car. So if you look, you got your 4 bolts. Let me get a light. So now I made it a little too bright. But you got your T30 here, your T30 there, your T30 right there, and then you got one that is directly right. You see it? There's all this other right there. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to start with undoing the oil cap, which we're going to do, or the oil filter cap housing, whatever you want to call it. Knock this bad girl out. Alright, you're going to take this bad girl out. You're definitely going to spill oil, so I might want to get something. Oh, wait. That ain't good. So, never seen it like that. I think mine's broken on this car, actually. Good to effing know. Oh, jeez, what the heck? So I'm going to have to get a primer and pry that bad girl out. I've never even seen this before. So, I'm thinking this whole cap broke. I've actually seen that before, but yeah. And look at this, the oil in this engine was still basically brand new. So, now I know this is broken. Good to know. So we're going to take this, put it to the side. The filter looks pretty good for this engine. Nothing really crazy. I might take it apart, because this is going to be my spare engine if I ever do blow up, or if I want to throw it into something else. I have like 2 or 3 of these. So let's put this bad girl to the side. Okay, now, just like the other one, there's that 46 nut. So we're going to break that bad girl loose. But what I want to do first, So on the m113k, it's easier to pull this whole thing out as a unit. M112, we're just going to pull out this part of the housing. So we're going to do our T30s now, and then break that bad girl loose. So in the car, you could get to a lot of this stuff pretty easily. Get this back one right here. Come on, baby girl. There we go. Okay. Okay. I messed up a little bit. Where I didn't notice, these are supposed to be all T30s. Someone threw an Allen back there, so I just stripped out that back one. So now I'm going to have to extract that and get that one effing out. That is very miserable. If you look, let's see if I can show you better. That ain't the same effing bolt as all these. So, my problem, not your guys's. So let's get this bad girl out. Alright, we got that stupid Allen out. Don't put random hardware in these cars. Or, I don't know, I should have looked. 100% me. Should have looked. I was going too quick. I was like, I already knew it's 100% me. But just double check yours. And if you're ever going to put a random piece of hardware, put it somewhere up front, not buried in the back. But, now that I said that, we got these all loose. This thing wiggles. Now I'm going to go get my 46, whiz it from the top, and this one will come right out. So as you see, the housing, exact same. Oh my jeebus, exact same. Looks like someone did something weird to this one. I'm hoping this one doesn't leak, but oh yeah, same basic housing. Replace the gaskets, do the opposite, and if you see this just kind of like hangs here, so you're pretty good there. Alright, so now we're going to show you how to do the oil filter housing cooler gaskets on the Slk32 m113k. Now, one thing I forgot to say with my other car, I already have my secondary air pump removed. That's going to be in kind of the area of it, but you can still sneak through. So as I showed you on the engine, it's not too bad to do. I have a little bit of a few things in the way. Like this is for the intercooler because I routed mine differently. Yours normally be over here. Also, you normally will have your secondary air pump stuff over here, which mine are removed. But you still should be able to do the same thing of just sneaking a T30 through there. So we're going to do the same thing. And I might be replacing this. I do have a spare cooler. Because if you see, mine's a little bent. But I'm going to make that decision. And also, I'm going to try to show you how bad this one's leaking. So I'm going to try to show you it's leaking. Well, you can see a little bit. It's leaking from roughly the same spot in the back. Let me see if I can get this camera. If not, we're going to do the iPhone stuff. Ew. Alright, so I took my belt out of the way just because I am going to be changing this and a hose that I'm seeing now. Like, look at right. Dang, can I even show you down there? So if this thing will focus, right there is another hose that's leaking pretty bad. Let me try to get a good angle for you. Can you see that one? Okay, it's going in and out of focus. But yeah, that one right there is leaking a little bit. That's going down from there. So I'm gonna be I'll take that cooler off. I got an inexpensive one from Amazon. It was like 40 bucks. We're gonna pull that off with it. So to do this, we're literally gonna do the same thing. We're gonna crack this housing open to look at the filter. Do the T30 here, T30 here, T30 here, and then that big old nut down there, and then we can separate it. But first, I'm gonna break these lines loose. I don't want to damage these lines because I don't have extra ones. So this is pretty simple. You're just going to take pliers, pull that out, and break that down. Alright, this whole part is still the same thing with the 46. There really is no big difference in removing those. So once you got those lines cracked, we're going to now use the 46 to pull them out. That way I can replace a little bit more stuff, which we'll show you. But it basically all comes apart. But now how I showed you on the engine, like on my engine stand, you can do this in the car. The only reason I'm pulling the whole assembly out is because I'm changing part of the cooler and I'm trying to repair that hose down there. So I'm pretty sure that's leaking. So we got the whole unit out. Also, like I said, I'm replacing this piece. It looks like just a straight piece, but geez, like it is worn the F out. Also, what I did notice, look at this cooler. It is literally bent inward. And this is like, that one looks fine. This one has a dent and it's bent inward. I think I accidentally did that when I was doing my pulley, but I don't remember. So here's what the brand new one looks like. Look at literally the gap So let's turn it. This one's actually longer. That one scares me. Geez, maybe I will have to bend this back. But this one from Amazon, this side looks longer. But also, this is so bent in there. Well, I don't want to get this all dirty. I have the gaskets already in it. But let's take that apart. Hopefully this won't fit. This was cheap off Amazon. So one thing I want to show you, look over here. It looks completely straight or flat. The gasket is still in there. That thing was so smushed and compressed. So we're going to clean this whole unit up. Test fit the new one with the gaskets. You put them in just like the other one. Clean all this stuff up. And hopefully that leak will be away. So this gasket was really effing bad on the SLK. Like, geez, this is rock effing hard. If I really try, I probably could crack it, but I can't even really, like, compress it really, almost. But, so like I said, we're just going to keep cleaning, put this bad girl back on. So we got our housing more or less all cleaned up, and then you could just see the two difference in these two hoses that we got. I just would cut a piece of hose that I had that matched up to this, and that is looking so much better. Okay, so we got the SLK one all done. As you can see, I did not use the Amazon housing just because it didn't bolt up perfectly. I think I could have got it if I started cutting it up, but I basically just got another housing from one of my spare bins and stuff. It's working, it's great. No leak, no more dripping on the belt because like I said, even with this one, like it will drip right on the belt and cause some issues. So that's all done, super happy. So guys, this repair is a very easy repair you can do at home. The only special tool you need is a 46mm socket. Like you said, like I showed you, don't need a deep one, a shallow one will do. And this is probably something I think everyone with this car should go out there and look right now. Tell me, put it in the comment, tell me if you actually are leaking from here too. Because it's one of those things you don't see from up top and it'll slowly drip on the belt and start causing you slippage or any other issues and it makes a mess. And for parts, 30, 40 bucks, not that expensive. You can either get it from FCP Euro or go to needswings.com. They also sell these kits. They also sell a brand new cooler if you need it. The coolers aren't cheap to get a factory Mercedes cooler, FYI. So the Amazon one is a better alternative, but you do what it looks like. You have to cut and modify it. So that's all on you guys. But those gaskets, very easy to do, very inexpensive, and it's something that might just cover you from another headache later down the road. So hopefully you guys like this channel. Hopefully you guys like the content. Hopefully everything is going well for you guys. Throw a like down, throw a subscribe down. And like I showed you, if you want to buy a series of things from needswings.com, you can use the coupon code ND_72. You're going to put it basically where you go to the spot where it says, when you're checking out, it'll say, where'd you hear about us from? Put it there, and you'll save money on pulleys, on surge tanks, on a list of other stuff, on data logging stuff. I work with them where it's getting, even if it's just like 50, 60, 70 bucks you save, just like, that is free money for you guys, and it helps out my channel because it helps notarize that, like, we're pushing out there and he'll make more parts for the cars because he is working on more, how do I say this, bolt-on parts for the m112k cars. He does a little bit with the m113 stuff, but the m112k is working on more parts. I'm working with him on it, but mainly it's all him doing it. All I'm doing is just putting it on the car and see if it works. That's really all I'm going to be doing. But hopefully you guys like the channel. Go to his website. Go view him. Go post more pictures of your guys' car. Come out to the events. Do all that stuff. We need this Mercedes AMG community to start blowing up for more performance parts and more maintenance stuff to be more inexpensive. So I'll catch you guys later. Hopefully you guys like the channel. Like, subscribe, and see you next time. Lady versus Swiffer. Swiffer wins.